VSiN.com/champweek to register and join VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gill Alexander on VSiN.
Good Wednesday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM channel 158. Gill Alexander to my left, producer number 9, so much more than a producer. My little buddy Kelly Bidlin, everybody. You know, a little toddler wave there.
Yeah, a little toddler wave.
Toddler wave is like that. I'm sorry. There you go, like that. The Dame Lillard one when he hit the game winner. He did that. Are you good? All good? This is a good show today.
I'm good, man. Great show today. I'm exhausted. I did that whole thing where I woke up at like 2 a.m. and then couldn't fall back asleep, so good times. Gill was up early, too. Saw him in the rundown working early.
I sat there at the South Point all day yesterday with Wishnev, college basketball betting.
So that's the spot?
That's where we were yesterday.
Ooh.
I don't know where we'll be today. Yeah. But yes, I got up early, made a bet here, which I'll talk about here momentarily. On this hour alone, Matty Cox on college basketball conference tournaments today, full swing, right? Everybody's playing today, with the exception of the Ivy League. They're all going today. Is the exception of the Ivy and someone else? The MAC also doesn't start today yet, right? The MAC and the Ivy are the only two that don't start yet. But everybody else playing, including the SEC Conference Tournament Championship beginning today, Mountain West, MEAC, the Big West right here at the lovely Dollar Loan Center with Ben Wilson on the call.
No way.
Well, he's doing the WAC. I'm not sure if he's doing the Big West. He's doing the WAC at the Orleans. Maybe he's not. He used to do the Big West in the Dollar Loan
because
Center.
That's definitely worth a drive out there. If Ben's there as well.
Yeah, I think he's doing the WAC at the Orleans, he told us. Big East begins today. Big Ten, of course. Did I mention that? Atlantic 10, American Athletics. So Matty Cox from Three Man Weave, JVT, who typically comes on here and talks NBA with us, but he's got a bunch of college basketball as well. I'm sure he'll have Mountain West thoughts.
Did the Mountain West write-up, for VSiN.com.
So we'll get
free.
We'll do all that. Besides the big dance, doesn't get any better than this in college basketball today. Players Championship. The Players Championship in golf. Golf's de facto fifth major. The PGA Tours major, if you will. Kelly's got his plays coming up on the show as well. And that doesn't even include the second hour where Paulie Sporer will give us some of his season-long individual plays in baseball. Jason Weingarten will do all that next hour as well. I would like to begin, because we have so many guests, with the tennis. And then I made a baseball March-April play this morning. We'll get to that momentarily. Let's get the tennis out of the way. Tennis yesterday, we split, lost on Yosuke Watanuki, who was up 4-2 in a first-set tiebreaker against Talon Griekspoor, and then he gacked it, and that was the end of that. He got rolled in the second set. But we won handily on Mira Andreeva last night, who rolled the number 7 player in the world, Elena Rybakina. What was it, 1-2, I think she beat her? 6-1, 6-2?
I just got a final alert on my phone, Gil, that said cash money, basically.
Yeah, but it's a split for us. And we did lose. We finally lost a future yesterday. So the future where we had Osaka and Pegula, we're out of that quarter. That quarter is Bencic still alive, which you jumped on as well.
I'm on Bencic with you, yep.
Bencic is playing Corey Goff today, Coco Goff. And
big one.
We obviously have Iga, who, talk about 58 minutes. She beat the number 15 player in the world yesterday, Breadstick.
That was one of those girls. I'm at the desk working, and I'm like, oh, Iga's starting. And by the time I thought to check it again, I was like, and it's over.
Karolina Muchova, who is a great player, she just rolled. So it's an awesome tournament there in Palm Springs, or in Indian Wells specifically. I have 3 bets in the second half of the round of 16 today. The aforementioned Belinda Bencic, who, by the way, I did not get as nearly good of a number had I given this pick out yesterday, right? She's minus 105 is where I got her against Coco. Taking Taylor Fritz, the number 1 American player in the world on the men's side, plus 111 against Jack Draper. And then on a spread bet, Soné Kartal, plus 6.5 games against Aryna Sabalenka. Kartal's numbers are great on hards. Sabalenka should take care of her, but I think Kartal keeps it close enough to cover the 6.5. All of these, again, VSiN.com/picks for subscribers. Got those last night. So 3 plays in tennis: Bencic, Fritz, Kartal, plus the games.
I like it. Hopefully we can middle that one, because I bet Sabalenka quarter as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Get your 6.5 home.
Cake quarter for Arena.
Yeah.
As she tries to get to the quarterfinals. Okay, now here's the Dilliosis. For those who are new to this show, specifically those who are listening on Sirius XM 158, maybe after all these years back on the show, but we have had a little cottage industry. Would you call it a little cottage industry on the show? Of betting monthly most win markets in Major League Baseball. Last year was the first year where we had 2 sports books that did these monthly, namely William Hill / Caesars, and Circa did these every month. DraftKings did it for the first month, which was March, April. Now, the first thing you have to know about this is, and by the way, our record last year was, we came literally one out away from winning a 65-1 on the Cleveland Guardians last year in March, April. That was heartbreaking. We came one win away from winning it on the Guardians in May. And then we won in June. We hit the Houston Astros 25-1 at William Hill, 17-1 at Circa. So it made it all worthwhile. We did not win. We did not come particularly close after that in July, August, or September. Okay.
Those first few months were a fun sweat, though,
the
man.
first half of the season
content.
was unbelievable. So now the first thing you have to know about this, and by the way, this is what I love about baseball, and the only thing I've given out so far is on the Cleveland Guardians under, right? That was my favorite season win total of the year. But this is essentially, so this is the second thing I'm giving out for the baseball season longs. And the beauty of baseball betting is there's so many different markets, right? Individual and team. Some of these, books like DraftKings particularly, they've got markets, first team to 10 wins, first team to 20 wins. This is the monthly, what I'm talking about. Now, you have to know the rules. You have to know the details for all 3 of these books that are doing it. In the case of... So first of all, in the case of William Hill / Caesars, they have decided not to include the March games. So the Major League Baseball season, with the exception of the 2 Cubs-Dodgers games, which take place March 17th and March 18th, the Major League Baseball season for everybody else begins on March 27th, okay? William Hill's month bet does not have anything to do with March. It is just April wins. So from April 1st to April 30th. So that's the first thing you have to know.
Looks like that's the case at DraftKings, too.
DraftKings is just April as well?
Yeah. As you're saying that, I'm just noticing it says April on everything.
I had in my notes, I had DraftKings was March, April, but maybe you're right. Okay. So Circa is March, April. Circa is March, April, meaning it includes all the games that take place in March, which the first instinct will be for folks to be like, oh, well, the Dodgers and Cubs get those 2 early games, so they've got more opportunities to get the wins. Now, the biggest thing you need to know about all this is what the tiebreaker is, right? Because you're dealing with a small sample size of total games, right? 1 month and change of games here. So you need to know what the tiebreaker is, because ties are maybe not probable, but they're likely, right? They're very possible, and we've had ties. So at William Hill / Caesars, they go to a dead heat, right? So if you go, let's say, 20-10, let's just make it easy. If 2 teams finish 20-10, or excuse me, one team finishes 20-10 and another finishes 20-9, it's a dead heat, it's a tie. There's no differentiation there between the record. It's just the fact that they both got 20 wins. Right. At Circa, it's not a dead heat. The first tiebreaker is fewest wins along with your tied wins, if you will. Fewest losses. Yeah. Fewest losses with your wins. And then the second tiebreaker would be run differential if you ended up with the exact same record. So if you ended up both 20-10, right, a 20-9 beats a 20-10 at Circa. But if you both ended up 20-10, it would go to run differential as the second tiebreaker. So, and by the way, I don't know what the tiebreaker is at DraftKings. I need a ruling on that. I don't know if the tiebreaker at DraftKings is dead heat. Because remember, they only did it for the first month last year. Oh,
yeah.
So I don't remember if they were dead heat or if they were, any creative
I want to say dead heat, but you're right. They only did it for that 1 month. I don't remember.
So cutting to the chase then, DraftKings was the first to post this. A lot of great listeners here to the show let us know that. But nothing was here available in Vegas. Then Eric Biggio from William Hill tweeted us yesterday, said, hey, ours are up. April only. And then this morning, I happened to just be dilly-dallying, as one does in the morning before the show, and I'm like, oh, Circa's got him up. Look at Circa's sneaky, freaky brother sneaking in from the rear, putting it in there. So I love the ones that are the one that is not a dead heat. Circa is my preference because that adds a layer to the handicap. And so the next thing you need to know is how many games these teams are playing. And at Circa, if you play one fewer or two fewer games than another team you're worried about beating you, it's not as big of a deal, right? Not as big of a deal because that could actually benefit you with fewer losses. So I ended up betting at Circa, where again the tiebreaker is fewest losses followed by run differential, and I ended up going with the Minnesota Twins. The Minnesota Twins at 15-1 is my play. They play the White Sox 6 times. And depending on how you sort of rate this, by the way, some people will say, hey, the Red Sox play the White Sox 7 times. White Sox being sort of the way I start this, being by far considered to be, both by season win total, both by PGA projection, the worst team in baseball. So some people say, why not take the Red Sox? Well, one, they're half the price, right? They're only like 7-1 or 8-1. But the other thing is, with the Twins, if I break down the average, the aggregate sort of season win of opponents, if I do it by season wins, the Red Sox have a slight advantage. They're playing an aggregate group of opponents in 32 games of 76.3. The Twins in aggregate in 31 games are playing an aggregate of 77.89. So not a huge difference in terms of the aggregate season win average, if you will, of the opponents. If I do it by PGA, it is a bigger advantage for the Minnesota Twins. They have they play opponents with a average season win of 78.68, whereas the Red Sox would play an average of average opponents of 79.47 in terms of season wins. Plus, again, the Red Sox in season wins are 86.5. The Twins are 84.5. Keep in mind, we're only talking about 1 month, but just as a general sort of barometer. But at PGA, Twins are 87. They're an 87 win team, whereas the Red Sox are only an 79.8 win team. Anyway, in the wash, and we'll get to more of this tomorrow, but this is my quick read. Twins are the bet. That's what I did. 15-1 at Circa today.
Are stirring, and we're ready to strike on VSiN's Sharp Week. Starting Selection Sunday, VSiN will be your captain for March Mania, helping you navigate the madness and land that big bet. Join us as we break down the brackets and provide expert analysis on every game, delivering insights only VSiN can offer. We've stocked the ship with our March Mania betting guide, giving you everything you need to chart a winning course through the biggest betting tournament of the year. Dive headfirst into the free VSiN March Bracket Challenge. Sink or swim for a chance to win up to $5,000 by picking team sides or totals. We're doing it all. Special coverage throughout the tournament, best bets from hosts and handicappers, and a chance for you to win big. Set sail with VSiN, the sports betting network. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe to join us for just $9.99 for the first 30 days. And don't miss Sharp Week, where you're going to need a bigger bet. That's VSIN.com/subscribe.
Coming up Wednesday on Follow the Money, more NFL news with free agency, player movement as well. Also, 3 more bids go out in college basketball. We'll go over the championship games and what's going on with the day action. Mike DeCourcy to talk bubble, Matt Humans with picks and props, and you cannot be serious with Mike Palm. Follow the Money weekdays 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network, Sirius XM channel 158.
Unlock everything VSiN has to offer right now for free. Go to VSiN.com/champweek to register and join VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out articles like conference tournament previews for the Big East, Big Ten, SEC, A10, ACC, Big West, and MEAC. Most of those begin today. Greg Peterson's best bets in college basketball. And later today, you can check out Zach Cohen's best bets in the NBA, Jonathan Davis's best bets in the NHL, and Steve Makinen's NBA analytics report. All articles, access to them at VSiN.com for free. That is free. Don't cost you nothing through Selection Sunday. That's this Sunday at VSiN.com/champweek. Gill Alexander, Kelly Bidlin alongside. We get tweets at Beatty the Book. Always appreciated. First of all, Trip Tepper yesterday talking about college hoops. I could not agree more with this, Trip. Can we get a numbers game investigation on this Big 12 tourney court design? Who signed off on this visual nightmare? It was like playing basketball on my mom's kitchen floor linoleum tile as a child. I was like, what is that?
I don't know why we need to overthink these things.
About the baseball monthly, clarification from listeners. 3JackH3131, DraftKings says by end of April, so I was correct. DraftKings is a March-April.
Yeah, threw me off. I was going to make that correction here.
So
sorry.
DraftKings is March-April. William Hill Caesars is March-April. William Hill Caesars is April, and Circa is March-April. So only William Hill Caesars is April alone.
Good job, though, 3Jack. He called me on that.
And then Justin JD Terp 23, he says, and it's a dead heat too. Dead heat as well at DraftKings. So dead heat at DraftKings, dead heat at William Hill, only the tiebreakers at Circa. So and then Jeff Schwartz adds, not our Jeff Schwartz, but someone else's Jeff Schwartz, Jeff with a J, not Geoff. On DraftKings, he said the Twins are 16-1, not 15-1, where I got it. On the ticket, it says if multiple teams record the same number of wins in the listed calendar month, dead heat rules apply. Yeah, but I don't want to play the 16-1 there. I'd prefer the 15-1 at Circa because I don't want a dead heat. I want the Twins with 31 games as opposed to the Red Sox 32 games and not a dead heat at Circa. So both of those are favorable to me. And so that's why I played it where I did for the number that I did.
Shout out to DraftKings, though. You put this in your bet slip, and it has that whole text that right below it.
There
explaining
you go. NCI 95 Gambler was waiting for Gill's bet on most wins in April for MLB. Got it 16-1 at DraftKings. Let's ride, Gill. So, again, some people don't have access to Circa on that. Jeff Cam, good morning, men. Gill is the Cliff Notes of gambling, and I should know. I passed high school on Cliff Notes. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad note? I don't know what that is. I think that's a good thing. Teasers and parlays. MLB monthly win totals are back. Let's go. Got Minnesota 16-1 at DraftKings. Dead heat rules apply there. And then Cofred, thank you, Gill, for the last 2 years of the Vegas Lifestyle Megapod for all the advice making my first trip to Vegas awesome. Got to Andiamo right here at the D, Carbone at Aria, Bavette's at Park MGM, Luger's at Caesars, and Yardbird 2 times at the Venetian. So damn good.
Yeah, that's a good list right there.
Oh, that's all.
That's a good list.
It's all from the Vegas Lifestyle Pod. Okay, Shrek McPhee, who's not trying to trip us up anymore with any names, says, no funny business today. I'm back after a much-needed 2-week hiatus. Football wore me out, ready for the madness. Well, if only we had college basketball expert with us right now. We do. Matty Cox from 3-Man Weave joins us at 3MW_CBB for all of 3-Man Weave's plays on the Twitter machine, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Matt, does it get better than today? What do you prefer, today or the first morning of March Madness?
Ooh, that's good. I'll go March Madness. I've been a snob about conference tournaments in the past. I'm starting to come around to them, though. I used to always get kind of turned off by why are we playing these games and, power, especially the power conferences now. It gives these teams that have really been annoying all year an extra lease on life to rack up big wins when they've had all year to do it. So it's always rubbed me the wrong way. I'm growing, though. I'm evolving. I'm starting to appreciate this. So, yeah, I'll dig in today. Hopefully we have more points than yesterday. One of the all-time ugliest days of college basketball yesterday.
That was
some of these shooting percentages were absolutely ghastly.
That was, as a collective day of college basketball, that was pure hell. That was awful to watch. From a non-betting perspective, or just watching the quality of play. But it is the worst teams in some of the bigger conferences, so maybe to be expected. The Delaware Dream, by the way, did not get there. We added 3 more at-large bids yesterday with 3 small conference bids given out to champions yesterday. specifically, and I want to get it out, was UNC Wilmington, of course, beating Delaware. Delaware came in to the Colonial Athletic Tournament with a 12-19 record and almost got there, one game away. And they gave a big fight yesterday, too. Almost got there. Obviously, Gonzaga, West Coast Conference Tournament, they would have gotten it anyway. Northeast Conference, St. Francis of PA gets an auto bid yesterday.
With 46 points.
Yes, correct.
46 points.
By the way, we'll add 3 more today in the Big Sky Patriot League and Southland Championships. Do you have any play in either of those 3 games or any of those 3 games?
No, nothing in the title games today. I did have Delaware yesterday. Shout to the Hens for getting that cover, despite coming up a hen short. Nothing in the title games, Gill. I've been pretty bad betting these historically. I have a few in the power conference ranks, including I do like your DC Hoyas today. It's one of my best bets. Yeah, after not sure if you heard Cooley call the defensive effort dog shit was the official description of the. Yeah, so I think they bounce back today against the Demons, who are brittle and injured.
All right, Georgetown, play number 1. What else you got today?
I'm looking at Seton Hall. I guess I got 2 Big East games on the card. I know the Pirates' offense has been just horrendous. I just think it's a good spot today against a Villanova team that's been off for what I think is too long. They haven't played since last Tuesday. I think this part of the year, maybe while you could argue rest is a good thing, I think rust can also swing the other way as well. They've been feisty in decent spots. They've just caught in some teams at bad times. Their last couple games, Creighton and UConn, both in sort of revenge, get-right spots. I think they compete with a Nova team that, as we know under Kyle Neptune, is not great at extending leads, is not great outside of their own barn in Philadelphia. So I do like the Hall catching doubles there.
All right. Seton Hall catching double digits. Georgetown, catching, what are they, 4.5 point, or they're laying 4.5.
Yeah, laying 4.5.
Against DePaul.
Yep, both the God.
Okay, so 2 Big East games to start. We'll get to the if you have any outrights in conferences. Any other individual games today, either big conferences or smaller?
The other one I had was Rutgers. I know it's been sort of a tumultuous year for Steve Pikiell. They had all that hype with those 2 stud freshmen coming in. They're playing USC, and I think this USC team, while they've underachieved as well, I think they're more of a zombie team that's going to wave the white flag pretty quickly. I think Rutgers uses this as all right, this is our last chance to maybe make a miracle run and show that while we haven't defended much of this year, we had a ton of injuries. We had that nasty flu bug that crippled the team for over a month. I think they're a little bit undervalued right now. I think they play well today. Harper and Bailey kind of use this platform in Indy as a sort of a quasi get-right spot. I'm not sure if they're going to win this whole thing at some point starting on Wednesday. Not going to help your odds, obviously. I think they won a couple, though, in this tournament starting today against like I said, more of a zombie USC team.
Yeah, got to win 5 if you're going to do it. By the way, Will Hill came on the show yesterday. He liked Rutgers at 200-1, basically based on the fact you got 2 lottery picks, right, in Bailey and Harper, and see what ensues. Okay.
You want upside, right?
Yeah. 3. Those are 3 plays in today's action. What about conference tournaments that begin today? Maybe some that began yesterday, because obviously they're not in full swing yet either. Do you have any outrights in any of these conferences?
So I did look at St. Joe's. I'm not sure what the updated price was there for the A10 tournament. It's always a crapshoot field, right? It's an all-neutral, very competitive league, especially this season. There's not a lot of separation between kind of the top-end teams and the middle teams. VCU sort of separated themselves, but they lost a few games in conference. I think outside of their own gym, they looked more mortal than invincible. The way I've seen St. Joe's played out in the stretch, I'm not the biggest Billy Lang defender. I think St. Joe's fans would probably agree with that, but the talent on this team is pretty sublime. I think we saw them make a little bit of a surge last year in this format. I think we see sort of a deja vu this season. And I need to check the updated price, but that was one I did fire on. The other one was Kent State in the MAC.
8-1,
Gill,
by the way, on St. Joe's.
8-1. Okay, I think I got 8.5 or 9-1. Okay, 8-1 sounds nothing below that though. The other one was Kent State in the MAC. Anything better than 2-1. I think they have a great draw. They're playing the best. They have the best sort of DNA in this format against a league that's basically all offense. They actually have some physicality. They can rebound. They've been good in this format before. I saw some 2.5-1. I was hoping to find 3, but anything at 2-1 to better for Kent State, I think that's worth the look. I think the money line rollover actually might be slightly more profitable, a better value. I did some of the projections there. But if you just want to play a future on a team that has a good matchup, good path, I like Kent there too. 2.5-1 better.
Yeah, Kent State plus. I'm seeing DraftKings plus 240 right now, so just on the cusp of what you're talking about. But shop around, you might be able to find a better price. Kent State, the MAC conference champion, conference tournament, I should say, champion is a play if you can
and
get the right
open
price.
As they're 10-point favorites today against Western Michigan. So
okay, and then with the big dance, obviously, now what is it? 8 days away, not counting the play-in games or probably the first 4, whatever we're calling it officially these days. It begins for reals in 8 days. Right now, if I make you sort of pack it down to the teams that can possibly win it, brackets unseen, your list is what? Auburn, Duke, Houston, and who else?
I got Florida on there, and I wanted to check the updated list that you use, Gills. I like your rubric there, but I'll draw the cutoff there for now. I think Texas Tech maybe. I think St. John's maybe. Outside of that, I think it's a pretty tight list because, like I said, those 4 is sort of the 1A, and then the other 2 is sort of the 1B in that upper echelon.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, folks would have said, man, it's wide open. Now everybody's kind of narrowing it down. The formula, which you're referring to, and thank you for that, Auburn, Duke, Houston, all 3 weeks that we've done it so far. With Florida, the only thing keeping Florida out, Todd Golden has not coached in a Sweet 16 before. So we've only had 2 exceptions to that through the years. Matt, enjoy the day. Good luck with the bets, man. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. Appreciate you.
Golf, the Players' Championship next, right here on a numbers game at VSiN.
And they're off.
To get you ready for March Mania, VSiN is offering a free pro preview during Championship Week. Get everything VSiN has to offer, including daily pro picks straight to your inbox, betting splits from both Circa Sports and DraftKings Sportsbook, and access to the VSiN Watch app to take VSiN with you wherever you go. Register now for free to unlock VSiN from March 6th through the 16th at VSiN.com/Champ Week and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Unlock everything VSiN has to offer right now for free. Go to VSiN.com/champweek to register and join VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Eliminate all the fake handicappers who are pitching fake records. Juice Reel is bringing transparency to the picks marketplace. All Juice Reel betting accounts are synced with the betting history directly from the sportsbooks. So no hiding those bad records. Juice Reel ranks every bettor based on their actual betting record. Sharp bettors can even get paid when others follow their picks. Check it out for yourself. Download the Juice Reel app. Use promo code Let's Go. That's Let's Go, and receive $25 in free app currency that you can use to check out what the best handicappers on Juice Reel are betting. It's free in the App Store. Juice Reel, that's spelled R-E-E-L. I feel compelled to spell the whole thing, Kelly. Juicereel, if you know what I mean. Download Juice Reel today. It's Gill Alexander. I've done a numbers game for, 8 years now? We clearly have the most potty-mouthed show that there is with our guests. I don't know what it is about... the guests of this show are historically, can you say, at a higher rate of spectrumy than other guests of other shows?
Sure, yeah. It's also, we do a good job of making everybody feel comfortable. And the problem is people get too comfortable.
They get too comfortable. And so who have we had curse on this show just in recent days? Not recent days, but sort of recent months. Steve Fezzik.
The whole Friday slate.
Friday. They're just the most potty-mouth group collection. Chris Felica, Mr. I have 17 Emmys or whatever it is, he curses. And then Dr. Bob multiple times. He's the most potty mouth of everybody.
Yes.
He's so comfortable. He thinks we're sitting at Osha Thai in San Francisco talking. We're not. We're on the radio, for God's sakes. And then Matty Cox, who looks like he's, 12, 13 years old?
And just that innocent guy that would help an old lady cross the street.
So in case you missed it, the quote from Georgetown's coach Cooley is, cashing tickets is what it's all about. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
Sorry out there. We did get your tweets. Yes, that is what plays when someone says something bad on the air.
Wolf, Mr. Mays 12, we get tweets. Eyeballing Coco and Bencic over 2.5 sets. 2/3 or 2 out of 3 of their previous matches went the distance. 3-Jack H3131. Gil, how about a text before you bet win totals? I see Circa's already 11-1 now. Did you do that? Oh, yeah, maybe I did. Where did the Pirates land on your handicap? I'll be honest with you. We'll dive back into it tomorrow because this was a speed handicap this morning where I'm just like, okay, let me get through the weeds here.
Yeah.
But I'll go through it today while I'm watching college hoops and see if I can come up with anything else. But that is the bet I made on Circa.
Because the other big one I took away from that, and I asked you about it during that first break, was it so clearly Twins and Red Sox, which you could tell us more about tomorrow, but you could always... Well, you didn't do this at all last year, I don't think, but you could bet 2 at those numbers.
You could. But... yeah, the way that I started, again, Jeff Cam, by the way, clarifies his previous comments. He says Cliff Notes in the 80s, book that just highlighted bullet points. No, I'm familiar with Cliff Notes. He says, highlighting the bullet points you needed, so it's a very good thing that you're the Cliff Notes here. Yeah, no, Cliff Notes. What was the other one? There was Cliff Notes and there was something else. Monarch Notes. There was 2 of them.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, my brother had a shelf of them. That dude read nothing. I'm like, why you got all these Cliff Notes? Mind your business.
Oh, man.
NCI 95 Gambler said Caesar's app currently down for maintenance while Gill gives out a great bet. I think not. They afraid, Gill. They afraid. Everybody texting, everybody tweeting and cashing tickets is what it's all about. Like we got 20 of those. Let's see. Let me weed through those.
I caught Boyd with a comical mispricing yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah. So, they usually have the same lines as FanDuel, right? So, Sepp Straka, spoiler alert, a bet of mine this week. He's like 45-1-ish, that range I see at FanDuel. I pull up Boyd. They replaced the 4 with a 1. I was like, wow, Sepp Straka's really popular this week. 15-1. Wow,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Israel Negron, he says, you missed Robert Morris. Yes, pardon me. Missed Robert Morris. Bobby Morris getting in from the Horizon League last night. Proud alum. # Go Colonials. That's right, Robert Morris. With their win, they were plus 240 pre-flop in the Horizon, and they get it home. Chrissy Andrews, my mishpucha, his alma mater as well. Kevin Ryan, Gill, even though the basketball was dreadful yesterday, sitting the entire day with Wishnev had to be both entertaining and exhausting. Oh, it's both. Believe me. He's entertaining, and he's the biggest nudge I've ever met in the world. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm like, what are you, a child? I'm turning right, Todd. Now I'm turning left. I'll be there in a second.
That started with you leaving here yesterday.
Oh, my God.
You're like, Gill and I do our little post-show meeting every day. And Gill's looking down at his phone. He's like, I got to go pick up Todd. He's waiting for me outside. Like,
so who told you to wait outside? Go inside.
And not outside of Circa.
Yeah. All right. No, he's the best. He's awesome. But, when he starts, imitating fouls on you with a forearm shiver to your arm while you're watching it, it gets a little much. All right, the Players' Championship in golf. This is so great. College basketball madness today. Not quite the big dance, but just an explosion of games today. And then, starting tomorrow, I don't know if the Masters I get the most excited for. Obviously, majors. But this really is probably fifth on the list. And maybe more so, right? Because with the Open Championship in across the sea, the time difference kind of mutes the excitement for me.
No, I think that's completely understandable.
So maybe this is
a shared
top,
feeling.
Maybe it's top 4, the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass. What you got, sir?
You want to hit the club? Is what you're saying?
Oh, we're country clubbing.
Let's go. Feels like it's been a while since we played this.
Look how happy they are.
So happy. I ran through it last week.
We're old and we have drinks.
Having delicious drinks, too, like Mai Tais or something going on there. All right. Players, where do you want to start, Gil? There's a lot.
I think we should start with the topic sentence, which is, it is from year to year, right? It's the same golf course, so you'd think it would be predictive like the Masters. But there's so much water here that it is the least predictive of all these courses.
The one that I find interesting to see if this trend continues based off of that, Gil, is since we've made the move from May to March, which happened in 2019, the list of winners is class golfers. It's Rory, Justin Thomas, Cameron Smith, Scotty Scheffler, all major champions. So you have to keep both of those in mind, I think, right now. And I don't think that's something to really obsess over right now, just looking at who's won here since they moved it to March. What Gill brings up is far more important when you're handicapping this event, the volatility of it. There's a lot of water in play. You're going to see, you could be looking real good with an outright bet on Sunday. A ball or two go in the water, your dude's done. And that is absolutely going to happen this week. You're going to see it happen very often at TPC Sawgrass. What I find maybe most interesting this week, Gil, I don't know if I can remember a week in recent couple years probably where there's been this much odds movement at the top of the board. So right now over at DraftKings, it is Scotty Scheffler 4-1. At most places he opened longer than that, 5.5 to 1 has been bet down. Rory McIlroy, you go book to book, you could find him all over the place. He is 10-1 at DraftKings. Colin Morikawa is 14-1 at DraftKings. Morikawa is shorter than him a lot of places. And then what happened with all three of those guys? Ludwig started to drift, and then everybody came in, including me yesterday, and bet Ludwig, and he got a whole lot shorter. So you've got all four of those guys that are sub 20-1, and it's been a lot of movement. So keep your eyes on that if you're looking to make bets today. If you're doing your own handicapping at home, we kind of hit on this yesterday. Super heavy approach course. If you were doing approach stats, it's always the most important stat weekly, Gil, but it is even more important this week. The way the course is designed, it is going to challenge you off the tee to keep it in the fairway. That is super important. You're looking for fairway finders off the tee. Distance gets mitigated a little bit here because of the water. They're design this course that they want you to hit tee shots basically at the water to give you a better angle to go into the green. So real premium on accuracy off the tee, and then approach players. And then scrambling around the green is going to be important because these are smaller greens. This is a full field event, unlike last week. Get 144 players. We get a normal cut top 65 and ties after Friday. So if you're watching at home, you see it 16 holes where water is a factor on. That is a big, big deal. And you got bunkers and tough around the green play here. So you want guys that are proficient around the green and scrambling. But the guys that you really want to focus in on are great approach players and great approach players recently heading into this tournament. And that is basically how I structured my entire betting card, is who has been the best approach players over the past 3 or 4 weeks on the tour.
All right. And so Where did you land?
Where it lands. 4 outright bets for me this week. I couldn't decide between Colin Morikawa and Ludwig, so guess what? I bet them both, Gill. Morikawa, I don't know. If this was another tournament, I don't think I'd be betting Morikawa after what happened last week. I caught a lot of his press conference yesterday. He blew by the press on Sunday after he lost, which is something Morikawa doesn't do, which is something these guys never do, period, but especially Colin Morikawa. You could tell that loss affected him. The problem is that this course is set up so perfectly for his game. He is so accurate off the tee, one of the best approach players on the planet, good around the greens. It is designed perfectly for what Colin Morikawa does best. So I did go a bet and outright on him. All my outrights this week, too, I didn't put it on the graphic, but all covered with top fives, kind of doing half each way betting. If you have each way betting available to you, I highly recommend it. Ludwig, I'm going to keep going back to probably a price range like this. I think he's a class player on the PGA Tour right now. 19-1, a little too long. He wasn't as great last week as I was expecting. Flamed out on the weekend a bit, but still great iron play. Expect him to be there. And then when we're talking about great approach players over the past 3 or 4 weeks on the PGA Tour, I'm going right back to him. Sepp Straka, Daniel Berger. Sepp Straka, I bet for the Masters already. And then top 10s and top 20s on Tommy Fleetwood and Michael Kim, who have both been amazing on tour this year. Quick tournament matchups, Justin Thomas over Xander Schauffele and Michael Kim over Davis Thompson. Yes, I like Michael Kim right now.
Wow, Sepp Straka, 50-1.
Yeah, or 14-1 at Boyd.
More college basketball. JVT next. It's a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Unlock everything VSiN has to offer right now for free. Go to VSiN.com/champweek to register and join VSiN, the sports betting network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Hey, don't forget, once again, VSiN is free. Free until Selection Sunday this Sunday. Sign up today at VSiN.com/champweek and enjoy full VSiN Pro access instantly, including daily best bets to help you cash more tickets, exclusive betting splits from DraftKings and Circus Sportsbooks, 24/7 video with full access to the VSiN Watch app, full VSiN.com access, including expert analysis, trends, and pro betting systems. Don't miss out on this free VSiN Pro preview. Get the insights you need to bet the tournament smarter. No cost, no commitment. Sign up now. VSiN.com/champweek. And enjoy free access through March 16th. That's VSIN.com/champweek. It also includes, of course, again, as I mentioned, everybody's picks, right? Host, guest, every sport, all there. Free. Don't cost you nothing. We get tweets at Beat of the Book. Always appreciate it. Jonathan Doe is very angry at me, Kelly. Jonathan Doe.
No, as long as it's you and not me.
He said, have you listened to any of your podcasts lately, Gill? The reason that expletives are abundant on your show is because your podcasts are full of expletives. Zero filter. It leaks over to television. He's very angry.
But not all of them are the same people. I would understand.
No, he's incorrect. Matt Cox has never been on the podcast.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And who else?
Well, that's about it.
That's about it. Maybe you do have a point, Jonathan Doe.
No, don't get me wrong. With some of the Friday people we're talking about, that applies to.
Matty Cox proves that it's not the podcast is what I meant. Brian M., can someone Photoshop Joe Serralo dancing into the country club in intro? He wants Joe Serralo.
No, we need him at the bar. That's a good call, though. We need him at the bar. Mary told that story. He was a bartender for bachelorette parties in college.
Really?
Yeah.
General Mitchie Moss. I believe Circa was first to post the most MLB wins for March, April, been up since March 4th. If that is the case, General Mitchie Moss, if you are a true general, when I looked, it was not there. So they may have put him up, but they've taken him down at different times also. Or I'm blind. Could be. Edward Perez, Boomer Rizzle, said that was some good combo, but cash and tickets is what it's all about. Brian Grierson, is there a dump button or tape delay for foul-mouthed guests? You've established such a comfortable circle of trust for the Numbers Game tribe. Way too comfortable. Paul Hinson, DraftKings and April specials let you pick each division monthly totals. How about that?
Yeah, there's a million markets.
Shorter numbers, but interesting plays. And Jamie Leva or Jaime Leva says, thanks for creating such a comfortable blank in space. I love this blank in show. Have a great day, gentlemen. And then Stringfellow Hawk, how much half point or 1 point worth in general is -4.5 better than -4? Also, the show's unfiltered on the Sirius XM app. I don't know what sport you're talking about or anything, Stringfellow, so we got to be more specific on that. JVT joins us. Jonathan Von Tobel. He's our senior NBA analyst, but of course he delves in other sports. He's not just a one-trick pony. He joins us now courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line, VSiN Primetime host, and of course you can follow him on Twitter at MeJVT. What's happening, John?
Nothing. Very disappointed. I could not make it back home in time to get in front of my camera, so you guys cannot see that I am wearing my Montgomery Biscuits alternate logo cap, the Montgomery Kimchi. I wore it on purpose, but just know that I'm rocking a sweet baby blue hat with an orange brim.
I'm not sure I understood any of that. Did you? Montgomery Biscuits, you said?
But I'm trying to read into it. We wore it on purpose because it's baby blue and orange.
That's right. It's a very sweet logo. Just Google the Montgomery Biscuits Kimchi, and you guys can visualize what I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
I'm big on minor league logos and caps. Very much so.
No, me too. I don't know if it was a message for for us, though.
Montgomery Biscuits are a minor league baseball team based in Montgomery, Alabama. Google tells me, AA affiliate of the Rays. But what's do I even want to ask the question? I'm not going to ask the kimchi part of it, but that's okay. We'll get to that another time. By the way, kimchi, wonderful. But don't let the jar open in your house. It's a different story. That's a whole other thing. All right, John, let's start college basketball first. You are known to many of us as a Mountain West guy. You wrote about the Mountain West Conference tournament at VSiN.com. What is your conclusion, sir? Where is the value?
Well, first off, I'm glad I'm the Mountain West guy and not anything else, because I was really scared that people were talking about me in other circles. Look, I think if we look at this for Colorado State, to me that's the play. I think they're up to Gill now by plus 350, plus 375. I think like plus 375 in that range is probably the lowest number you want to take with this team. But it's really hard to ignore everything that Colorado State is going for them. First off, since February 15th, they come into this tournament on a 7-game winning streak. Over those 7 games, Bart Torvik's got them as a top 10 team in the country. By far the best team in the Mountain West. Their offense has been absolutely humming. Nick Clifford's been incredible. Dropped over 30 against Boise State in a 10-point win on the road to close out the regular season. They've got really everything going for them, and they're a very well-coached team. Nico Medved's awesome. And the best part is the draw. They were on the other side of the bracket, so they avoid the other big boys, if you will, New Mexico, San Diego State, Boise State, all on the other side of the bracket. They're going to get more than likely Utah State in the semifinals, the Utah State team that they blew out by near 30 points about 2 weeks ago out there in Fort Collins. This team's just absolutely rolling, and there really does not seem to be a strong path of resistance to, at the very least, a championship game berth against more than likely New Mexico, but could be San Diego State. But I really like this team a ton, and I think they're going to be able to make their way into the NCAA tournament. So Colorado State, for me, is the play to make here in this thing, given the bracket and given the way that they play. And I think that we're going to see them in the NCAA tournament because I think they're going to win this tournament in the Mountain West.
I like the bracket analysis. Colorado State plus 350 right now to win the Mountain West. By the way, John, how do you, when we have a week like this where we have the WAC, the Big West, obviously we have multiple tournaments to choose from. Where do you end up going to games, and if so, where?
Yeah, so I always like to say this because, we are a pampered bunch if you work in the media. So I do get to make calls and I can go to places. So it's not the normal thing, but generally I find myself at the Mountain West tournament. It's like my favorite conference, as you guys kind of noted. I really enjoy it. It's generally a conference with some parity that you're going to see some pretty solid games and some upsets. It's a good conference that has become a really kind of gritty defensive group, which is a lot of fun to watch especially when you're up close. But the one thing, on my bucket list, because, West Coast Conference tournament's over, so I do try to get out there as well, but that thing's done. I do want to go out there to check out, I think it's the Big West, of what used to be the Dollar Loan Center, whatever it's called now. Yeah. It's a good tournament, and, the building, from what I hear, is awesome. I just haven't been able to make my way out there, so that is on my bucket list.
JVT.
How'd you not see Wemby when he was here?
Bro, we went to see Wemby, and when we were 2 of 30 people there.
Yeah.
To go see things with friends, you have to be invited. So that's the first thing. I was not invited, I'm not tight with Ben Wilson, who I believe you guys pulled strings with to go get there. I was after the fact where I saw Ben after that. He was like, "Yeah, you should have just asked," and I was like, "Well, you should have told me I could ask. I didn't know you had that power." So I have not been out there yet.
Did Ben give us tickets, or we buy tickets?
No, I bought a ticket. Okay, I went. Me and you didn't even go together. I went separately, and Ben did roll up at halftime. He owned the place. He was like, "Oh yeah, well, I got a good spot where we can watch it from."
Yeah. Minor league, G League at night. Scoot Henderson. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, sorry about that, John. You're right. Okay, and then there's a team in college basketball you just can't quit, huh?
Well, so it's not so much you can't quit. So we're in this Circa College Hoops Challenge, right? And I've been really trying to, and I handicap college hoops a bit, but obviously NBA focused, and we do a lot of the content. We used to do a lot more rest in peace Harvard handicappers on a day-to-day basis. So I didn't really grind through college hoops the way that I've been trying to this year, and I've always enjoyed it. So the reason why I bring that up is I've tried not to, Gill, fall for these obvious situational spots. So this is one of them. Arkansas is taking on South Carolina. About less than 2 weeks ago, it was on a Saturday, they went out to South Carolina and got their doors blown off. South Carolina at one point led by about 33, 35 points. Absolutely crushed Arkansas in that game. But South Carolina was at home, and generally the Gamecocks have been a much more feisty team at home. I believe they're 10-7 ATS at home. They've been a much more competent group when they play on their own floor. When they go away from home, they've been an absolute nightmare for whatever reason that has been. And so you kind of get these two obvious situations dovetailing into something that the market is really all over. Last night at 2.5 with Arkansas. I believe we're up to 4.5 here. That situation is really baked into this thing, even though Arkansas's top 2 scorers still remain out. Obviously, Boogie Flan's not coming back, but I think that this is one where it was worth it. I think Arkansas is a better team than they showed in that matchup. That is their most recent loss. They are 4-1 in their last 5, with that loss being that embarrassing spot out there against South Carolina. I know John Calipari, we played the clip yesterday, is vocal about not caring about the conference tournament, and maybe in the big picture that's true, but I feel like this group of guys is going to have South Carolina on the radar. So again, I know it's up to 4.5. See if that can dip by the time we get to game time, because we see these late moves and some buyback. And I would say that you can get in at -4, especially if it gets -3.5. But I fell for the low-hanging fruit of Arkansas.
Okay, 60 seconds, John. I know you're passionate about this. SGA versus Jokic, MVP, NBA, go.
Hey, I say this isn't going to be Jokic should win it. I do think he should. I'll get that out there up front. But this is more, Gill, of I am very irritated with the media coverage of this race. There are many voters who have vocally said that they have already made up their mind in this race. And that is asinine, and you should get your vote stripped if that is the case. This is a very tight race right now. You should not be decided on who wins this award. And if you are a voter vocally trying to tear down Jokic because he's already won 3, you're an idiot, you're a moron, and you should have your vote stripped. This is something that you should take seriously. I've talked about this all the time. It affects their bottom lines. And the discourse around this race has annoyed me more than anything. This is very close, and you should not decide as a voter or somebody who just likes the league until this thing is over. And I mean the final game, 82 of 82, and the discourse around it irritates me.
I'll stand by that.
What did
right
Jim
there,
Rome
yeah.
used to say? What did Jim Rome used to say? Racket. That was awesome. Thank you, John. Enjoy the games today.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
JVT's 100% right about all that.
Yep.
Seriously.
I would vote for Jokic too, but it is absurdly close.
Why don't you wait for all the games to be played? Baseball break with Paul Sporer, season longs next.
And we're out.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy, really? With a credit card?
Well, with my credit card from GBank, they don't treat gaming transactions as cash advances. Plus,